Folks, welcome back to the Cut. This is segment number 2. Still here doing the thing on the set of Creep Radio. Hashtag Creep Radio. Again, Big Richard Walker sitting in for Craig and the guys. Just overdid it a little bit too much on that turkey, I think. It's probably not a good idea to base turkey and Hennessy. I'm just saying, Craig. But anyway, folks, we're going to go ahead and go to the second segment. This is a debate that is still a very hot issue right now. And, of course, HMW style, with us being innovators and pioneers of issues that pertain to sports. This is a debate that we had back in January, way back before any of these recent issues came about. This was even before the Jason Collins announcement of him coming out as an openly gay player. We were on this issue a long time ago. It's about the willingness or should I say, what we feel as though would be the acceptance of an openly gay player in the NFL. So this is a great debate. Go ahead and grab some turkey. Don't grab none of that Craig's turkey because that's going to make you sick. Grab yourself some turkey, have a seat, enjoy.
Folks, welcome back to the hot and heated Cut with Richard Walker from HMW, Angela Lawford from HMW, and I did say hot and heated on a night when we're talking about gays in the NFL locker room. We're further apart than the Republicans and Democrats when it comes to a budget for this country. It's something that makes sense on this topic. And I'm not at all surprised by it because I think this is one of the big misconceptions about African American culture, and I'll go there with it. Because there's a belief that we kind of all vote the same, we kind of all think the same, but we don't. We don't pray the same. We differ. Now, me and this guy come from similar backgrounds in regard to football. Angelo's a huge soccer fan.
And I played wingback in middle school.
This is a middle school football hero.
Middle school legend right here.
I think I caught one touchdown.
But in about 3 years. But we see this differently. And I think we can see it differently at the same time while we acknowledge where each other is coming from with it. I completely get where you're coming from. But my deal is this. You can't tell me that the NFL is not ready for gays in the locker room because the gay culture already exists in NFL locker rooms. They've always been there.
It's a private chapter.
They have always been there. Well, you can call it a private chapter, but what does a gay person who's a part of a football team have to do any different than an Asian person who's would be a minority in terms of NFL football, Hispanics? What about what's next? If you're a white cornerback, you have to be set off to a different side of the room. I mean, it doesn't make sense. If an NFL team is in a plane crash and the surgeons in the trauma unit at the hospital happens to be gay, you don't want to be treated? See, I think we're reacting emotionally without thinking intelligently. And we're talking about intelligent people reacting emotionally without thinking things out. What do you think about Terrell Suggs? You think he's a pretty macho guy?
Oh, yeah.
Is he pretty exemplary of what we think about in regard to NFL, especially a defensive player? Those are the mean guys. There's a guy that's been NFL Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year before. Finally got him a Super Bowl ring this year. Well, here's what he had to say when he was asked recently. Terrell Suggs said that he doesn't care how many not dead fake girlfriends Manti Te'o had. He would still welcome the ex Notre Dame stud linebacker in the Baltimore Raven locker room. That's Terrell Suggs, folks. Says he wouldn't have a problem playing with Manti Te'o. See, I knew I had this trump card sitting over here, so I admit I was setting up over there.
Play your card.
Suggs
I might have one of you.
Suggs was in. You have an invisible card on it. Suggs was in New York when he was asked if he would work with Manti Te'o if the Ravens drafted him, and Suggs said, Manti, most definitely, he's got a future. Richard.
It all boils down to this.
The words were never spoken, and they won't be. The teams did not ask these guys, "Are you gay?" And they're not gonna. If you're smart enough to read between the lines, and these guys are, the reason that they're asking them is because they are making an investment. I'm going to put this piece into my locker room with 52 other pieces. And this guy has to fit socially with these other guys. And
you can't include his sexuality.
But if I got 52 other guys, and if, let's say,
it can't be a part of the
let's say
interview process.
If 20 of them got a problem with it, I'm probably going to look at this guy's, might not fit with these other guys.
Yeah, it can't be a part of the interview process.
It's not fair. It sucks, but that's the way it is.
You're even with it being a question that you have to ask. Now you're stepping on.
But they never asked the question.
Well, indirectly or directly, it's still possible that they're violating the law in some capacity, because nowhere else can you go in any.
Yeah, Real John, is that part of the interview process?
You can't ask that question.
It doesn't matter the context of how it came up, because you might have icebreakers and stuff that come up through.
Brother,
you have a girlfriend, you got kids. It didn't come across as I was asking you if I was gay, did it? It was just kind of an icebreaker kind of thing.
Here's what at Dan Matthews on Twitter, at Dan Matthews 929 with 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. When I asked him the question, he said, "Craig, it's more of just an assumption, really. It's been widely speculated that there are gay players in the NFL, but no definitive proof. Dan, you're dumb. That's stupid.
It's been gay players.
That's a stupid.
It's been gay players probably since the 50s,
That's
40s.
just a ridiculous comment to make.
They probably had gay players in leather helmets. I mean, we knew that always existed.
Here's more of the attitude I think that we're comfortable with when we talk about gay people. Let's be honest. At John Granado from 1560 Yahoo Radio, and he says jokingly, "I've heard of fun locker rooms, but not gay ones. What is this you speak of, Craig Shelton?" See, you're comfortable with that.
There we go.
That's what we're comfortable with.
Well done, John.
But as African Americans, you wouldn't stand for any type of sensitive comment made toward your heritage.
Right.
But it's okay.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair, but that's the way it is.
You're right about that.
Yeah.
But what you're wrong at is in saying that the NFL is not capable, locker rooms are not capable.
They're not ready yet.
Of course they're ready yet. Guess why they're ready?
Why?
What do we shoot this show on? Green screen. NFL players are getting paid millions of dollars. You mean to tell me, Richard, if you was making an NFL, say mid-level salary, you're suddenly going to throw that away because a gay kid is on the team?
No, I wouldn't throw it away. I'm talking about from the
You
GM's
believe your
perspective.
constituency in that locker room? What are they going to do?
I'm talking about.
Ask to be.
I'm looking at it.
Tom Brady gonna show up the next morning and ask to be released?
I'm looking at it from the GM's perspective. I got 53 guys. I got to keep them happy so that they can keep making me money. And if I got one person that's going to be disruptive to the workplace, whether it's fair or not, I'm going to have to deal with that.
I think this guy at Ambition, we'll get to your comment, Angelo. I think this guy it's at J_ambitious on Twitter. He said, in regard to, and I just took this one tweet, we had a full conversation, but his point was he's basically not surprised, basically alluding to the point that, didn't they ask Bryant how long was his mom a whore?
Mm-hmm. And his daddy was a pimp?
Yeah,
he says, I'm usually against this kind of question, but this isn't $50K they're paying him on the job.
Right.
We're talking about millions.
Right.
So because you're making millions, they have a right. So let me get this straight now. People who earn in the top of earning percentages of the country, those people should be scrutinized differently than people who earn in middle class or lower middle class or just flat out impoverished people.
To some degree, yes, unfortunately.
What the hell degree is that?
Because they are professionals. And when you're a professional, there's not just a task-oriented aspect of your job. There's the intangible. There's the reputation. You can't have a doctor that, is a wild party animal because it looks bad on the practice.
But if
you
that
can't have a
doctor
lawyer,
being gay doesn't make him a wild
I'm just saying these is part of the
Richard, how
reputation
can you
of the
make
firm.
an argument for a culture of people who mismanage their money? Most of them are broke 5 years after they're finished playing. Some noticeable percentage of them are commit felony crimes, drug-related crimes, beating women. Mark Shimura was molested a young girl. You mean to tell me that culture of people has, you know what, I can make an argument that NFL players shouldn't even have a voice in this argument.
Agreed. And that's what I'm saying. Going back to the GM, who is over this entire process, the GM and above, who's over this entire process, they have a brand that they're protecting. The Dallas Cowboys is a brand. Houston Texans is a brand. They are concerned about that. And what drives their brand is those guys in their locker room.
Mm-hmm.
If those guys are all gelling well together, they're all happy together, they're all cohesive, that's something you can't coach, you can't teach. This
We're going to get up out of here.
53 guys to pull
We
the
got
same
to
direction.
get ready to go to a break. I'm going to close this particular segment, and we may have to come back with this. But this is what I think. I know athletes. I don't know fans. If he's gay, as long as he can play, he can stay.
Again, folks, this is how we do it. Great debate again. This issue continues to be a hot issue. So, again, you're welcome to tweet us on Twitter. You see the Twitter handles there. Follow me on Twitter at HMW Big Walker. Don't forget to follow Craig Shelton at Craig HMW Shelton. You can always check out our blog, folks. We always have something going on there. It's like Shipley Donuts in the morning. You pass by, you get that good smell. That's the smell that you get when you hit the HMW blog every morning. It's always something hot and fresh. We don't have a little green light that goes off, but you know it's always something hot and ready for you. So check it out, HoustonMediaWatch.com. Again, HoustonMediaWatch.com. We're going to go ahead and go to a break, and when we come back, we'll be back with segment 3. You're watching The Cut.